Happy hump day, soulies. I'm wearing a hat. I feel like that's important. I think this is the first episode I've ever recorded while wearing a hat, just in case you guys want to know. I mean, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see it says wild love. Okay, what's the vibe this week? Let's get straight into it. There is a lot of noise, and by noise, I mean it feels like we're all collectively shouting at each other this week. And I actually want to say this isn't just a vibe check for the week, it's a vibe check for February. There's a lot happening astrologically and cosmically in February. You're not coming to What's the Vibe to know specifics around astrology. I hope not. I mean, I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm not an astrology podcast. So go to your astrology podcast of choice to know exactly what is specifically happening. But when I say there is a lot and the noise, I'm speaking to there's lots of it's hard to I feel like fellow projectors will understand what I'm referring to, and also neurodivergent people will understand that sense of being really, really, really overstimulated. And it's like, when you have the exhaust fan going and you're cooking something on the stove, the TV's on, the kids are talking, your partner's trying to tell you something, and like you feel like you could just scream. It's that energy this week. So, it's a nice light one for us all. The exhaust fan is on this week. And what's really interesting, and we're going to continue with this metaphor, when you turn the exhaust fan off, it's like, huh, I've just had a lobotomy. Like I can actually think again. I can breathe again. Can feel my heartbeat again. And it's as simple as just turning down the noise or turning off the exhaust fan. So the question for us all this week is, what is the inverted commas exhaust fan in our lives this week? What is that background humming and that white noise that actually isn't putting us to sleep? It's causing us overstimulation. And dare I say, for a lot of us, it's social media. I'm feeling, and this is so interesting because I've dabbled in TikTok from time to time, especially when I launched my second book last year. I was really trying to give BookTok a go, and then I just was like, I can't do it. And so I've had TikTok deleted for like TikTok deleted for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months. I feel a density in general with TikTok. Don't come at me, Gen Zers, but it feels like it's going to be extra dense the coming week, the coming month. It's just a heaviness when you log on. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing this, if you do use the platform, but there's just like this, I can just feel we log into that platform and our soul fragments, like it's just fragmenting. And there's just something enhanced about that outlet. It is the exhaust fan. So turn off that tab. Just turn the exhaust fan off. No TikTok for the week. Similarly, I mean, it's social media in general. That is our running in the background exhaust fan for a lot of us for a long time. And this is where for a lot of us for a long time doesn't actually make sense in what I'm trying to say, but this is what's happening. And then we start to jumble our sentences, and then we start to get skewed in the mind, and we lose our train of thought more. It's not even brain fog. Like brain fog, there's like nothing happening. It's almost like the opposite of brain fog, where there's so much open, so much information, so many tabs, so many different perspectives, so much change, so much movement. We've gone from this elongated, voidy January to this really fast, really jarring February. We're only on, as I record this, the 3rd of Feb. It's just going to continue. So social media is the exhaust fan for the majority of us. How can you turn it down? And as I'm saying that, I know I talk about Opal all the time, but I have seen a few of you are using Brick. And Brick has actually been knocking at in my subconscious. So maybe it is investing in something like Brick this month, if that's been on your to-do list, to literally tap yourself out of social and have firmer boundaries around it as a portal of energy leaking. I've actually just naturally felt an aversion to social for the last week. I don't know if any of you have even noticed, but I have not been on my stories. And usually I'll take a couple of days off, but it's been over a week now where it's just like, I just am not feeling to be hanging out there right now. So yeah, it's becoming aware of the exhaust fans in your days and in your lives. Like, where can you minimize the noisy tabs? It's so ironic. As I record this, you can probably hear my dog is barking in the background at the builders behind us. So I've got this happening in real time. I've got construction, I've got the barking dog, I've got, the toddler who needs me. And as this layered sound gets on top of one another, it becomes really overwhelming to the system. So dare I say that we're also going to be experiencing a fair bit of overwhelm. I love how in real time this is. I had to pause this to go and get my dog and bring her in here because I couldn't be fully present with you guys as she was adding noise and the layered sound became really overwhelming and I lost my focus. And this is the undercurrent for all of us is like there is so much happening collectively in terms of noise and upheaval and a lot of trauma and fear. And when that's happening collectively, it can it does as a byproduct impact our micro. And so what we are in control of is ourselves and how we tend to ourselves, how we look after ourselves and our families and our homes. And so that's the vibe check this week is like we've got to do less to be more. It's we've really got to minimize the tabs and the noise in our days, and they're going to be unique for each of us to come back to our homes and tending to ourselves, our health, our body. That's a big part of Neptune in Aries. Actually, I was talking about this with friends over the weekend where we were all talking about how we felt this urge to like really tend to our physical bodies. And, Neptune moving into Aries, our body as the channel, our body as the vehicle for self-actualization, our body as the vehicle to create the things that we want in our lives, of course. And then Aries being this warrior energy of the body. It's like, of course, we're being called to build strength in our body, to really be physical in our body. And then Neptune intuition connection to the divine is like our body as the vehicle. And so there is that. And on top of that is how do we carve out space in our weeks where we are just tending to our families and our homes and the rhythms of simplicity. I was thinking about that too. I know there's a lot of talk around, what could potentially happen with all the astrological movements this month, because it is a big month. There's a lot happening. And especially when we have the Saturn Neptune conjunction, this hasn't happened since, I don't know what it is, 1840 something, when it was the American Civil War. And so there's like intense energy happening. What can we do to mitigate that collective energy and that concentrated energy is look after ourselves. Like that is the biggest thing we can do is tend to our own bodies, our own homes, our own vehicles and vessels, because that's going to have the most profound impact in our communities, our friends, our families, our loved ones, rather than getting into like a fear state or a spiral or a panic or any of these things. It's just not going to serve anyone, especially not ourselves, especially not our children. So especially not our partners, and the list goes on and on. So do less, be more, minimize the tabs. What is the exhaust fan in your week this week? What is the noise that you can just go, that is not important right now? What is most important is tending to self, tending to family, tending to home. Focus on that. And this next week or so will be as gentle as it possibly can be with you. I'm sending you all my love, and I'll be back in your ears on Monday.